Happy Friday, Local 304. Time for the weekly YouTube update. Let's start out this time with AFLAC. There's a couple of things going on right now with AFLAC that you need to know. For all the members currently enrolled in AFLAC, you probably received a letter because AFLAC has ended their relationship with Piedmont, who had been handling the ACH premiums for us. So your premium being paid through Piedmont. So now in the letter you'll see that there's a phone number you call to set up an email address if you don't already have one on file, and if you do have one on file, then it shows you the electronic means of how you can get in there and give them your information, the same information you would have supplied to Piedmont, in order for that ACH deduction to continue. So sounds like a pretty easy process. I told them in the beginning that if it was too laborious, we were going to lose some of our members through that process. So please make sure, I think you have until the end of July 28th or July 20th, something like that. So we got a little bit of time, but please do that before it lapses. And I think, according to the letter, the way I read it, it looks like they're going to relieve you of those premiums that Piedmont didn't get. So continue your coverage without lapse, but forgive those premiums that didn't get withdrawn. So the other thing with AFLAC is that we are going to have our open enrollment, our annual open enrollment, and the postcards I approved the way they look, so they'll be printed, and then they'll come into the hall in order to get the labels put on them. So as you know, the membership list never leaves the hall, so we don't give that out to anybody. With 225 becoming part of 304 now in September, they are also included in on this open enrollment. So those particular numbers will go to Jason so that they can put the labels on down there at their union hall, and then we can get that mailed out. So be looking for that little postcard coming in the mail that talks about the open enrollment, and the website's active on AFLAC, so you can get in there and enroll through that site. Change gears a little bit. Gator and I met with the new manager of Four Rivers REA. That's the new company formed out of the Lion Coffee Radiant Cooperatives merge or consolidation. I keep forgetting what the term they use, but we wanted to meet with them today so we can start talking about how we merge those contracts together. So Gator's got a meeting with the guys coming up first part of July, and then Gator's going to work with their attorney in order to get some dates in order to start meeting with them in order to bring those two contracts together. The goal is to try to have everything in place by open enrollment of 2019 so that the benefits all come together in 2020. Exciting, right? Because the last merger we went through of REAs didn't work out so well for some of our members. Westar signed the IT work agreement yesterday, so got that process underway now. It's kind of an exciting process because we did capture in there Wolf Creek, Westar, KCPL, and the ability not only not to erode our bargaining unit, but also the opportunity to grow that bargaining unit. So, and it should be 50-50 numbers moving forward. So those are all really good things. Along with Westar, we got actually Dwayne and I and Steve Boyce signed the signature pages for the contract yesterday. So as soon as we get Terry Basham's signature on there, we should be able to get that thing off to the International for its approval, and we're going to expedite the printing of the book. So I'm really hopeful that you're going to have a contract in your hand in about 6 weeks or so. Don't hold me to that, but that's what I'm shooting for. Also, we talked with in our open issues meeting yesterday about the new 401k record keeper that the company is going to. Two things important out of it. One is that there's going to be plenty of communication so that you can get the proper information you need to make sure that your dollars are taken care of inside that 401k. I've had questions from the membership about, hey, that's my money, how can they move my money? It's not literally your money under the IRS tax laws until you withdraw that money. So once you withdraw it and you pay the taxes on it, or you roll it out of there into something else, then it's your money. So again, everything's under the 401k rules. So if you're 59 and a half, then you can roll that money out of Vanguard, out of the Vanguard Westar into a Vanguard account of your own. But if you're under the age of 59 and a half, then you'd suffer a huge tax hit if you rolled your money out. Secondly, we're going to make sure that you get presentations at all your work sites on this move. It looks like it's been moved out now to the end of almost the end of the fourth quarter, so that'll help in record keeping for you, make everything effective 1/1 of 20. I urge you, if you're not, I don't know what the right word is, intelligent on how to move that money around and what funds are going to be the funds you want to go to, the default fund is going to be their time accounts that I forget age accounts. So those are the default accounts, and so I think you'll want to look and see what you're sitting at now and try to roll into some like kind of funds. And also, very importantly, Local 304, Local 1523 did not negotiate any changes to this 401k. So we, every time they approached us with anything, we said, no, we're not willing to negotiate. We'd rather stay right where we're at. History has been they've been able to make these kinds of plan design changes as long as the overall integrity of the plan doesn't change. So more information to come at your local work site. You know, we always talk about what's going on, what's the static information that we're hearing in our local union. And one of the things that I want to bring up, whether you work at KGAS, whether you work at Westar, whether you work on any of our REAs, when folks bid from a company that was represented by another international union into an IBEW position, lots of questions come along with, why does the IBEW do this? Why did the operating engineers do this? And it's important to note that every international has their own constitution and their own philosophy and how they do things. The IBEW has a little more autonomy than most local unions, or international unions I should say, because our per capita comes from the local. So your dues stay here, your per capita goes to the international, instead of a lot of international unions where everything goes to the international and then they kick money back to the local. So that gives us a little more autonomy. It also allows, through the IBEW, it allows for a lot more education opportunities, and so we have overall there's just a different philosophy between local unions and international unions. So it's important to note that as you move from one to the other, you're going to see something a little different. We hope you'll see it's better. Not to say that we aren't open for other ideas, but they have to be in line with our Constitution. We are going to hold some steward training, July 22nd in Topeka and July 24th in Great Bend. The last thing I'll tell you is that Northrop Grumman started their large committee last Monday, and we got the opening letter out, so we're looking to get some dates for that. We're hoping towards the end of July, 1st of August, we'll actually be at the table. We'll be back at the table on July the 23rd for line clearance. We have dates for Sunflower in August. We have Midwest Energy and Flint Hills, and of course Four Rivers that I just talked about will all be be negotiating before the end of this year. So guys, I probably won't talk to you until after the 4th, so have a safe and happy 4th. Enjoy that union provided holiday, and we'll talk to you later. Thanks.